Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video I'm going to be shoutcasting my girlfriend's run along with her commentary on her run to a legend during Go Battle Night in our Go Battle Day in the Master League Classic. Cindy, you want to walk through your team?
So this is the Anti-Dialga team. We have 3 counters to Dialga. So if they have a Dialga on their team, it's pretty much a sure win.
Yeah, at least puts you in a pretty favorable position.
Yeah.
So the team is Melmetal with Rock Slide and Superpower. And I know Math Magic tried to run this team with Flash Cannon, but the Rock Slide is necessary because this team is
Really weak to Ho-Oh.
really weak to Ho, right? Ho in the back is really difficult. Still somewhat playable depending on how the shields and energy goes, but really difficult. Then we have Tokius with the standard moveset Ancient Power and Flamethrower. And then Groudon with Mudshot, Fire Punch, and Earthquake. And I think the Mudshot is better.
Zation.
A better Zacian matchup, right? Otherwise, the Zacian matchup is pretty tough. Like more or less, you can go like straight Earthquake against the Zacian because the Earthquakes you basically get to the Earthquake roughly the same time as they get to the play rough, just a little bit after, and the Earthquakes obviously do substantially more than the play rough. So obviously, Giratina O lead is tricky here. What else is a tricky? Like Kyogre in the back.
Mammo.
Yeah, Mammo.
Leads.
But a lot of the Mamos are carrying Stone Edge for the Ho-Oh leads, right? So there's a lot of consideration team. I think this is a pretty strong team. You've been using this team since season 3, right? I think you reached number 2 on the leaderboard.
That was Ultra League.
In Ultra League, yeah. But yeah, you reached a legend very quickly with this team for many seasons, and we were skeptical on whether or not this would work, just because Zacian is pretty popular, and without Flash Cannon, the Zacian matchup can be a little bit tricky, but it's certainly manageable, and we're gonna see how Cindy does manage it. So we're gonna be showing off your last 2 sets that we did in order to hit Legend. So let's just go ahead and get started with the video here. And this is just right after I hit Legend. So Giratina, you want to walk through what you normally do here?
So normally we predict what they have, but this is not the typical line.
Yeah, typically the line is Giratina A, Dialga, and Togekiss, and that's the quote-unquote Master League fam team, right? Made famous by Tommy Love in his super late streams. But this is okay.
Can I just sack it here?
But yeah, because we expect this to be double steal, all right, or steal or another Dialga counter, so like Zacian, for example, right? So
I just sack this.
Yeah, this is an interesting call here. All right, we go. It actually got a little bit confused when the opponent shield here, and we make the catch here, which I like. It says about 30% to Groudon, and obviously they're gonna look to switch out. And then here's Zacian, and Groudon has a good matchup. Obviously they have way more health, right? But as you can see, the Earthquake and Play Rough come roughly the same time. Go for the bait, because the Earthquake does do quite a bit of damage. We'll see what they do here. They end up no shielding here, and they actually, I think they no shield this, right?
I don't remember.
I think they end up no shielding this Earthquake, so they completely sack the Zacian. Maybe just to reset, and they feel pretty comfortable with Giratina.
I also played this person before.
Yeah,
so they probably
are familiar. Yeah. And these Dragon Claws do about like 25%, right? And then here comes the Melmetal. Very nice play by the opponent. Obviously, we're gonna look to farm a little bit there. And previously, you played this opponent. They shielded the Earthquake, right? So we're actually gonna look to bait and Giratina A and Melmetal in the 0 shield is extremely close. Like Melmetal slightly wins it, so just getting that shield and then having the Fire Punch banked for later is really helpful. The Fire Punch does like 12%, so it's not going to do a ton, but this is like a really close matchup. Like these Shadow Sneaks do like 18 to 20%, and the Rock Slides do about 18 to 20%. So they're not doing like a lot of damage to each other, and you get to the rock slides slightly faster than the shadow snakes, which is why this matchup favors Melmetal in the zero shield.
Can we CMP against Groudon? Or
Yeah, but both these Pokemon win CMP versus Giratina. Okay. Giratina is like quite bulky, so it tends to lose CMP to a lot of different Pokemon there. So this actually doesn't quite KO. So again, it's around the 20% mark, and pretty safe here. And then the timer is almost up. So really nice play there.
Chat was like timeout in
In
Master League.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a very nice win there. Obviously, we switch out to try to predict the team. Ended up being a little bit different, but still was able to manage the win appropriately. So it was nice. Them sacking the Zacian was fortunate there, right? That they didn't shield, but it worked out pretty well. So, Giratina, do you want to walk them how you play this?
So typically they have 2 counters to Togekiss in the back, and Groudon's really good in the back. So
Yeah.
I kind of put it all in Groudon. This is the method that King found this season.
Yeah. Typically, we would have safe switch previously to Groudon, but at this point in time, what we're looking to do is just chip, right? Put this this Giratina pretty low, and then basically leave 2 shields to Groudon and have the Togekiss as a sack or to chip away at one of the Pokemon. But if it's double steel, Groudon can basically clean up, and we've seen a lot previously.
Shadow Ball there.
Yeah, they Shadow Ball there, which is a little bit surprising. And they come into Togekiss.
Different.
It's definitely different here. But we expect it to be like maybe like Dialga in the back. Dialga in the back, right?
Okay.
Oh, and you got the
okay,
boost
I got a
here.
boost.
And or a steal, another steal. And this time we actually don't shield. And I think this is the correct call.
Oh, they
and
boosted.
Then they boosted as well. This is the correct call, and it ends up being Excadrill. And we actually previously shielded, right, and then stayed in, but it ended up being not worth it just because the Excadrill ended up getting a lot of energy. And Groudon can survive 2 drill runs, but with the mud shots and the Giratina still being alive is makes it tricky here. So I like this call not shielding here because the Giratina is still alive, right? So and the Fire Punch, going straight Fire Punch is correct in this, except for in the zero shield is the correct play with shields up because it does about 60%. And unfortunately, this Giratina is in like a very awkward range, right? Because it's not low enough for the Fire Punch.
Right.
And then you're gonna switch here and hope to Charm Down. If you get the Charm Down, this is guaranteed win, unless the game bugs it, of course. As long because you did bank the Fire Punch, which is definitely the correct play, and Groudon wins CMP versus Excadrill. So very nice play there. I know it's really tempting to shield when you get the boost and you hope to sweep with it, but honestly, you expect like another counter in the back to Togekiss, right? So there's no point in shielding. So obviously, extremely favorable lead. And this is where like Melmetal's they actually come.
Oh man, this one.
This was absolutely crazy game here.
This was crazy.
So we do expect it to be Kyogre in the back.
This thing has ancient power.
Yeah, it has ancient power, which does a lot. And Togekiss still wins a 0. Before the ancient power got debuffed, like nerfed in season 2, Giratina A actually used to win this matchup straight ancient power. It was crazy. Shielded. Which actually ended up being like a good shield. Otherwise, they would have had way too much health. And they get to another ancient power here, which is absolutely insane. And thankfully, they didn't boost again. And the intention here was to farm it down with mud shots. But as you can see, these mud shots are doing absolutely nothing. And Giratina, both Giratinas have like a lot of HP. So like these mud shots doing 1 damage is really bad. So you'll survive this, right? So I like the switch here and just bank the energy. And they actually throw the Dragon Claw here, which I think was a mistake on their side, just because they
can live another 2
Yeah, exactly. Or they could just switch to Kyogre. The thing is, you got a lot of energy, right? And these rock slides chip Kyogre. And typically in the 0, we do.
I thought I lived here. Oh wait. I shielded.
Yeah,
okay.
You shielded. Yeah, it makes sense because like that's your last healthy Pokemon.
I thought I. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so you throw the rock slide, and you want to throw another rock slide. Fortunately, they didn't get a waterfall through. And then you have loads of energy. Unfortunately, they're not in fire punch range, and actually take a waterfall. That was crazy. You survived with like 1 HP there, um, and that actually ended up being better for you, right? Because it's 8 charms to the ancient power, and you'll definitely faint to the ancient power. And you were like 9 away, right? So this is actually really fortunate they tried to catch, and you go for the one Thundershock, which is the correct play there, instead of like trying to go for the deny, because you know you can survive 1 charm and the second Rock Slide KO. So a lot of things in the end had to come together, like them staying in a little bit too long with the
This was
Giratina.
right before Yasser said, switch out Melmetal for
Yeah.
Zacian. I'm like, can Zacian do this?
Yeah, exactly. So that ended up being really, really
Clutch.
clutch win.
That boost, though. Man, the
So
boost rate?
obviously Dialga here is quite nice to
Oh, this
see.
person staying in.
But this is always a little bit tricky. I think they actually catch here, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
they end up catching onto Giratina. So very, very nice play by them. And then switch out to Togekiss. This Togekiss Giratina O matchup is like crazy close, right? So potentially, so they throw the Shadow Ball here. If you can KO in 4 charms, then it's worth it. But it's always a tough call there because they need 6 for the Omnis win, which is the same as 4 charms. But I think this is a safe play, and I think they come. They come. Okay, this is actually totally
Yeah.
fine because this is like a lot of health to take out. Obviously, the Mudshots are not doing very much damage, and they throw right before. They basically double up, right? They do. That's the equivalent of 7 charms, which is 10 Mudshots. And then they do one, but you still got the Mudshot through, which is nice, good chip damage. And let's see what they want to do here. They try to catch the Fire Punch. It was a really nice attempt by the opponent because obviously the Fire Punch would actually put them into superpower range, but they actually make a huge call there.
Well, I didn't bait the first time, so I was
Yeah,
like, surely
yeah.
they're
They're gonna shield.
gonna shield.
They Draco here.
Do I live to
You
get 2
lived.
off?
I think you got this one off for sure. Do you get the second one off? Okay, they got Dragon Breath through. Oh, just barely. Malmetal is actually like pretty bulky in Master League, and this doesn't KO. And then you just go for the farm down, right? So you just shield farm down. There's no way the extra drill is at 2 drill runs, right? So as long as you get to the 2 here, you got the
Extra much.
extra much shot through because they switched in. And this is game over, right? You wouldn't
They
see it.
rock slide me.
Yeah, they rock side BM because they
No, I
realized.
think Chad said they forgot which side they're rock slide or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't throw right away. Did I throw right away?
They threw one mud shot and they probably just panicked through, and then you actually over tapped there just by one, but it didn't really matter here. And then fire punch and take it out again. Whenever you see Dialga, it's really fortunate here, and they're actually double. It's kind of a weird team, double weak to Groudon, but honestly, Groudon's not that common in the meta. And so, how do you normally play this?
7 Thunder Shot.
Yeah,
and then
throw the rock slide.
Yeah.
And the objective here is to land the rock slide, right? You shield as many times as you need in order to land the rock slide. Oh, okay.
Kitchen.
And extra thunder shock through, which is what you typically would expect here. They Brave Bird here, and they switch out to Zacian. And
I think 2 rock slides. I don't know if I should have done that, but
yeah, this is tricky here. They play rough. A next play rough will KO, or even the close combat, which is likely how they're gonna play it. And you end up letting this go.
man, I have so much energy. I couldn't.
You have to go
Hey,
Tokus
hey,
here, right? So
Kenshin.
they make an interesting call here, right? So they farm up quite a bit, and you actually throw the rock slide here, and they decide not to shield,
It's kinda crazy.
which is kind of crazy here,
I
considering
have
they
2 counters. to
yeah
Dialga.
yeah. But I like how they played this though. Their objective is to get to double Iron Head. they're basically gonna shield the first one, hope that it's a superpower, and then these two superpowers don't KO, right? So you actually need to make it to 3. So here at this point, like it kind of makes sense to throw, right? Because you want the chip damage, but in hindsight, their plan actually prevents you from breaching
Well,
this
got
one.
there.
Yeah, but as long as you get there's almost no plus the Iron Head wouldn't KO at this range. And you got the charm through, and this is gonna be GG. Didn't really matter that they didn't have 2 Iron Heads at all. But if they would have shielded, it would have been kind of interesting. But I guess they were worried about 0 shield Dialga, right? And then you had some energy on Tokius, so maybe they were worried about the flamethrower. So, or maybe they threw the Brave Bird, and they didn't want to. I don't know. There, it's a tough decision there. So Giratina, obviously very challenging here, and
We
you
just
start.
play it out.
Yeah, you start a turn late, so you're like desynced here, as you can see. But you didn't throw first, so you end up getting the turn back. The Shadow Ball here.
On stream, you asked a question about why don't they Ominous win first? Because they need to do a Shadow Ball
Yeah,
and
and
Ominous win
obviously, yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But I think they're just trying to get some guarantee because they know I'm not gonna shoot.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
stacking this thing,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
know it.
yeah, for sure. And they don't want you to eventually switch out or
Yeah.
catch or whatever. So, if they're very weak to Malmetal in the back, then it's good to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, and I also was more curious of whether or not anyone ever farms down, and it doesn't look like the case here. The ominous win here, and that's usually the case that happens. Right. Let's let this go, and just on ominous win, and they
Oh,
actually
the
end up getting the
boost.
boost there. So switch here, and then they actually end up staying here. So which you end up predicting that it's going to be a Malmetal in the back, and I really like you make a very nice play here to EQ them, and they actually end up catching the EQ on Melmetal, and ideally they want to catch the Fire Punch, right? Because you go straight Fire Punch, but very nice prediction against them, and that set them back pretty far back. I'm surprised they can go Malmetal into Tokius.
Just Thundershock down
To
to
Thundershock, yeah,
the
yeah.
Tokios, yeah.
And then they would have been able to superpower your Groudon, which you likely wouldn't shield, and then switch out, and then play the Excadrill matchup, and
Well, we
then
talked about this on stream too, because Melmetal's more flexible.
yeah,
Against
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
things. They don't
exactly.
know I don't. I have a. Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
They
I
wouldn't
think-
know. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. This is not
Yeah.
that common of a team. I think you probably run into very few mirror teams.
I
This
remember-
team used to be more common, like back in like season 4, and then right. So we get a little bit here in the finding the match here.
Oh, you didn't play my lost game in the last set? Huh.
No,
What did I lose to?
maybe I played. I don't know. I took all the matches there.
Or maybe I played one before.
Oh, you probably played one beforehand. Yeah, yeah.
Zaru leads.
Yeah, so the root lead it's good, right? Because you can live 2 dark pulses, so that's good here. And then they never shield the first one, right? The thing here is that okay, this is a interesting play here. Some people may view as questionable. The thing is that Zarud Ho Core is really common, right? So it kind of took a risk there that they had a Ho in the back and you needed to bait it out with Togekiss. It ended up being like super risky here, and we ended up. What did they go here?
I don't remember. Was it just yesterday? Cool, I don't think it was yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay.
like 24 hours ago or something. Yeah. Anyways, so you take both superpowers here because you want to build up some energy for the Zarud, right? And then you fire punch here. Maybe you could have farmed up a little bit more,
Yeah, 'cause
right? They just threw there, right? And you're only at like 80 energy, 81 energy, and they actually come to Togekiss here.
transfer charm today.
I can't remember here. Yeah, you transfer the charm, which makes sense. And I think you just shield these, right? The dark pulses do about like 40%. The vine whips obviously don't do that much.
I think I tanked this.
Yeah, I think you take this one just in case they make it to the flamethrower, right? And You make a nice play here because I think they end up no shielding this, or they shield this. They have no shielding this, predicting the rock slide because they don't want you didn't want to get debuffed. It was a reasonable play by them. Uh, and then you just need to get to this rock slide here, which you do because you survive 3 charms. And then the important thing here is not to transfer the charm
Right, right.
because Groudon's quite low. I think you would live the charm, but it's just too risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely would live the charm, but it's just too risky because the Melmetal is dry and has no more thing. And saving that Fire Punch there was really key there. So transferring the charm and then not transferring it back was really good decisions there. Yeah, very well played. Obviously, they ended up not having. They had Togekiss and Malmetal, which is like kind of a crazy
Purple weak
to
to
Ho.
Ho-Oh.
Yeah, kind of a crazy team because like I don't even know what you would. I think you would have to sack the Zarude, right?
How much does Dark Pulse do to a Zarude?
Like about 40%. But you would so Zacian is really tough, right? But I like how you play this here. So you let them throw first, right? And then they're kind of forced here to throw right away because they don't want to throw. They don't want to get a rock slide, and then you switch out later.
Right.
So you end up catching the close combat. And now they're dry on Zacian, and you did so much charm damage. And I'm not sure they lagged there or that was just like weird animation there, but they banked a move, a close combat for later, I guess, and they take the ancient power, and you let this go.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They Brave Bird here, and I think you end up throwing the rock slide. I think you considered much shutting down here, right? Especially since you had like 100 energy already. And
It just last time I tried to mush that down, it
it got to another move, yeah.
I got to
Yeah. So they close combat, and then you immediately swap, and we experienced some lag here, and I'm not sure that probably impacted them, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. And now you need to land 3 fire punches to KO them.
Fire Punch actually doesn't do that much to Zarude.
It does like 35%, right? And Zarude is pretty tanky. It has like
Yeah.
really good stats, right? These people are afraid to power up because like hardly anyone has a good IV one, right? We're used to playing with Master League Pokemon that are like 98s or 100s.
But
or
you only get
nice-
one, so you gotta work with what you
yeah,
got.
yeah, exactly. Um, so I like the no shield here, right? Because they're so low.
So much.
They're so low that you can just throw double superpower here, right? Or double
Right.
rock slide, right? And you know you're not gonna get farmed down. And they realize that and they leave the match there. So worked out pretty nicely for you. And they end up being obviously their Zaru didn't want to see the Tokias, so they're fortunate that they saw the Groudon, but unfortunately for them they
I had a lot of energy
you had a lot
coming
of
in.
energy, yeah. Unfortunately they looked like they lagged there. But that's just the nature of the game, right? So this is the you basically clinched Legend already, right? You've gone 4-0 in this set already. But we're gonna play this last battle here. It's Bully Goat. Okay. So Mamoswine, we don't expect Bulldoze anymore, right?
Right.
And you never shield the first one just because like the Bulldoze doesn't KO. And first super hard. It's like similar to Zarude, like the first rock slide. The first super hard doesn't KO, so there's like no point in throwing the super power right away. And I think they actually they actually switch here to Palkia and build up a little bit of energy, which is good. Farming off of Dragon Breath is not bad. And I believe they get to 2 Aqua Tails here. And the Dragon Breaths obviously don't do that much damage, but Palkia is super attack weighted. So even though Aqua Tail is a very low powered move, it still chips it quite a bit, right? These are not Gyarados Aqua Tails. So you throw the ancient power here, which I don't mind, right? Like I think you would have made it to the flamethrower,
Yeah.
but it's good to chip it, right? Yeah, you definitely would have made it to the flamethrower, but it's good to chip it, and they're like super low at this point in time. And
Just tanked the move. Or did I? Or did I throw? I threw.
yeah, I think it's too risky to tank the move here. Okay, you do
Oh,
end
I
up
tanked
you do end
it.
up, you end up taking the move. Um, ends up being, but I guess we just don't predict that they don't have bulldoze, right? So,
Right.
and they actually end up letting it go. And this is an interesting call by them. It makes sense though that that they do this because they don't expect a second dial counter, right?
Exactly.
Like, and then you end up getting Dragon Breath down, which I know you're a little frustrated on, but it really didn't matter at this point. And once they shielded once, you can just straight EQ. And really, their only remote play would be for you to bait the fire punch here, right? Because you're up a shield, right? You can just straight EQ. So we see a lot of times the Dialga no shield, because even though they're like a shield, there's like two shields or one shield, just because they know their only play there was to no shield, and they make a reasonable play. But unfortunately for them, you have three Dialga counters, right? And that team makes sense. The Mamo double dragon. We expect a lot of double dragons, or at least one dragon. I know a very popular variation of that is with Lugia and Giratina, just to for the Ho-Ohs and the Kyogres in the front. So all right, well, so what do you think of the season? What do you think of Master League? What do you
Master
think
League
of
was a little frustrating because there's Zacian everywhere.
yeah.
And oh, we see a lot of Meloetas. This thing feels okay with it. We haven't seen many Eveltos this
Yeah,
season.
Evelto's basically disappeared,
Disappeared.
right? And very few Malmetal
Very few
mirrors.
Lugias too. A lot less than last season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
basically Zacian and variations with Zacian and
yeah.
Dialga, right? And you saw a lot of teams when you were playing that were like double weak to.
Oh
They would
my
have
gosh.
like they would have Tokius and Dialga, right? Or Dialga and look even Yasser. I showcasted his battles right before this, a couple hours before this, and he runs Dialga, Lugia, Mewtwo, and Mewtwo with the ice beam, right? So
That's not
like,
a
yeah,
Melmetal counter.
yeah. So like, there's a lot of like definitely Malmetal like fell out of favor in the meta, but it's still very effective here. It's very good for the flyers, which is something that Zacian would have a little bit more trouble against. There's obviously trade offs, which is why we see less Malmetals because Zacian serves a very similar role. But I think when you the steel typing being able to resist the charms is really useful for a lot of matchups.
And I
So
see no fighters this season. I haven't seen
well,
Machamps or Calcald or
we almost never seen Machamp before too, right? It was very niche just because like Machamp loses I think the main thing is Machamp loses the zero shield to Dalga, right? So it comes like unless they have close combat or something,
yeah.
right? But I think very effective team. You played it very well, and came back to old reliable, and it worked out. All right.
My favorite team.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching this video. Thank you, Cindy, for letting me shoutcast it and being a part of my life. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see everyone in the next video.
Bye y'all.